Alright, this is going to be a review of how to position yourself as Reinhardt on King's Row defense. Point A, the basic point you hold is basically around this taxi. And this is where you'll start off, and you'll just see where they're going. So there's basically 3 options, or 4 options, where the enemy team could go. They could go up theater, or they could come mid. And when they come mid, they can either go around statue, through mid, or through hotel. If you see them go theater, basically just come around here, you can get fire strike right there, get some charge off. And then when they drop, you can look to engage if your team's also with you, or you can just back up. And coming around mid, if they're going around statue, you're just holding your shield up and playing this angle on them. You can fire strike to get ult charge. If your team is looking to engage, you can, as their Reinhardt comes around this corner, you could look to charge and possibly kill him. Another thing the attacking team could do is just come down mid straight up, and at that point you'll just be playing around taxi, throwing fire strikes. As they come up, you can concede ground, and then you can charge and hopefully pin the other Reinhardt. The next thing that an attacking team could do is go hotel, and at this point you're going to be holding around taxi again, and you're going to see them speed boost into hotel. You're basically just going to flip the point on them and have your team play behind you as they play in this little cubby right here. And once your team gets a pick and you have up bodies, or your shot caller just calls to engage, you can just charge the Reinhardt or whoever, and you'll likely win that fight. One mechanic that's important on defense of King's Row as Reinhardt is, as you're holding here and your shield starts to degrade, you can start moving backwards. And the movement that you should practice is just holding shield up here, and then as you're getting pressured a lot, you can start to move back. And use this wall as like a cover to recharge shield. Once you have shield back, you come back, peek shield, and then fire strike. Ideally, is positioning as on defense. You want to hold point and not in this cubby right here, because playing in the cubby gives the attacking team a lot of room to just come and poke you where you can't engage back or poke back. But there's situations where you have to, when you're down bodies or when your shield's just going to die, that you can't play around taxi because you'll just get instantly killed. And that's when you'll play this wall and have your team play with you. And that's mainly the first point. And as you go into streets phase of King's Row, likely your team's going to be dead, and then you're going to come back, and your team will likely be able to hold this corner before the attacking team is able to push cart further than probably arch. And at this point, you're going to be using this corner again to peek, fire strike for a charge. And you could set up around this corner to have your teammates poke or look to engage. And if cart's above, when they're pushing cart under arch, your team could look to engage under arch and try to look to possibly win a fight there. Also, there's important Earth Shatter spots that you could take as like a cheese kind of, and that is mainly right here. And this is mostly after their payload is around like this area. But once you win a fight, and they've pushed payload right there and they're resetting, you can set up right here to get a sneaky Earth Shatter. And that's really beneficial because you'll be able to win a team fight with using only 1 ult versus using 2 and comboing ults. And it's good to be efficient when using ults. Also, another spot is right here. If their payload is further up in streets phase, like right there, you could hide right here. When your team calls it, you could just come out, Earth Shatter, and win a fight using 1 ult. Like streets phase, important thing is like when you hold corners such as the one on bookstore or the one right here next to pub, and you can just peek and look to fire strike for ult charge. Like that's the main thing of playing streets phase, is looking to get favorable engages and positioning yourself around corners as Reinhardt and having your team play behind you. So the 2 points of where you can look for cheeky Earth Shatters is before arch in back alley. Another one I like is when the payloads move further up streets phase right here. You can go to small health pack under bridge, and when the teams are about right here, the Reinhardt doesn't know where you are. You come out and Earth Shatter. And again, you'll win the team fight with 1 ult. A lesser known position that's probably not as good is right here. I probably almost never do that. But once again, Streets phase, just positioning yourself around corners, looking to Earth Shatter, and looking to Fire Strike. The last phase is a lot like Streets phase, where you'll be holding these corners. The two main corners are the one right here and the one right here. Right here, you're just peeking in and out with shield and looking for Fire Strikes. And same thing again, next to this horseshoe corner. You're going to be looking for Fire Strikes, peeking. And depending on the situation, another thing you can do is look for charges that are, when they're pushing around this corner, you can concede, and then as the Reinhardt comes around here, you could look to charge and possibly have your team follow up. And like the most important thing is just having your team follow up to your charges, calling it, and communicating that you're looking for a charge once they round corner. For last Streets phase, once you wipe them, there's some cheeky Earth Shatters you can do. You can stand right here, have your team play very close up, and you could just Earth Shatter right here for a team wipe. Another one you can do is possibly right here. Like most people won't check this, but like in the case they do, like you can't do this consistently, or else they'll just know you're doing it and just focus you down and win the team fight. Possibly right here if they don't go, but they're likely going to go through Z. But if they don't, this is also a decent spot. The final spot for like a cheeky Earth Shatter could be right here. This is when payload's a lot further down third phase. And like the Earth Shatter right there. And mostly that's it. For the third phase, you're mainly just playing around these corners. Ideally, you have two fights. The first fight should be around this corner right here. And if you lose that, payload will likely be around here. And once you win that, you're holding this corner or further up. Alright, well, that's positioning guide for Reinhardt on King's Row defense.